Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy. I'm Chris the Dom One, and I am back with another video. Breaking news. This is just in, by the way. Brock Osweiler was released from the Cleveland Browns. He was served his walking papers. He heard the famous two words a lot of people hear when they don't meet their potential: you're fired. All right. Now, if you do not know who Brock Osweiler is, let me tell you and explain to you guys his brief bio, particularly his NFL career. Now, Brock Osweiler was drafted by the Denver Broncos, and John Elway, under his tutelage, was going to develop Brock Osweiler. Now, Brock Osweiler had the sense that he was going to start a lot sooner with the Denver Broncos, but when you talk about the Denver Broncos organization, they had an offer that they could not refuse, and what I'm referring to is Peyton Manning. Okay, so when they signed Peyton Manning, they put Brock Osweiler on the back burner, but he was going to be ultimately Peyton Manning's successor. Now, when the Denver Broncos won their championship, and most part of their defense, and Peyton Manning was there as well. He made some great plays as well. Peyton Manning immediately retired. Okay, all he wanted to do was get one more crack at a ring. He got that crack, and now he's retired. He's in DirecTV commercials. Okay, and that green lighted Brock Osweiler back into the starting role. Now, Brock Osweiler was feeling a certain type of way, particularly with the Peyton Manning handling, particularly with they really didn't rush him into the starting role, which this is a clear evidence why they didn't rush you to the starting role, and he was feeling a certain type of way. Now, the Houston Texans offered him a mega deal, and they offered him confidence. He felt something that he said that was lapsed from playing with the Denver Broncos. He felt needed by the Houston Texans, and after 1 year, they didn't need your services. They pretty much traded you to the Cleveland Browns. Now, this was a unique trade because the only reason why the Cleveland Browns accepted this trade because the Houston Texans were also offering Brock Osweiler as well as draft picks. Okay, so Brock Osweiler went to the Cleveland Browns. All right, he swallowed his pride some. He knows that he was not needed for the Houston Texans, and the Houston Texans didn't see a future in him. Okay, so Brock Osweiler understood his situation with the Cleveland Browns, and he stayed with the Cleveland Browns for a year, and the Cleveland Browns came to the same reasoning as well. As when you're talking about, they came to the same conclusion like the Houston Texans organization, that Brock Osweiler is not a long-term fit for your organization, and they've been since week 7 trying to figure out ways to trade Brock Osweiler. Now, you would think this summer, clearly with all these NFL teams, their starting quarterbacks going down, when you're talking about Ryan Tannehill with the Dolphins, Andrew Luck, he may not make it to week 1. Baltimore, they need a backup quarterback. You would think with all of these opportunities in the NFL free agency, in the summer of the NFL, you would think somebody would give Brock Osweiler or go to talk to the Cleveland Browns and see if they want to trade Brock Osweiler, but there were no takers. And what made matters even worse for Brock Osweiler, even though Colin Kaepernick still hasn't landed a job yet, there was more opportunities for Colin Kaepernick than Brock Osweiler. Okay, if you compare these two guys together, no organization wants either or, but if they had to clearly take one of these individuals, Colin Kaepernick will probably get a job a lot sooner than Brock Osweiler. Okay, Brock Osweiler, when you talk about his development, he still needs more development in the pocket. He still have a very slow release, which the Broncos were trying to get him out of that, pushing the ball a lot quicker, throwing the ball a lot quicker, because the more time you sit in that pocket, the more time you're giving the defense, and the defense can figure you out a lot sooner. And the Broncos knew that, and they was trying to get that through Brock Osweiler's head, but Brock Osweiler had a big head, and his big head couldn't fit his helmet, and he felt like the Houston Texans really wanted him more than the Denver Broncos, which, yeah, because they didn't have a quarterback, all right? If I was a quarterback, the Houston Texans would offer me money like that, particularly when you don't have a plan B, C, D, E, F, or G, okay? So, this is clearly, a lot of people can learn from other people's mistakes, and the mistake with Brock Osweiler is he should have understand that when you're talking about developing yourself, when you're developing talent, there's some talent out there that takes a little bit more time to develop, and being around a lot of people with a lot of patience and have a lot of experience around you is more beneficial than just packing your bags and going to another situation where that situation really don't have a lot of patience or a lot of experience working with you. They're just going to look at what have you done for me lately, instead of being very patient with you. And I felt like that decision Brock Osweiler made diluted his development. Okay, he didn't. When you develop a player, you want to see him elevate, and Brock Osweiler never elevated when he got away from the Broncos, and now he's a free agent. Anyone can sign him. The future of Brock Osweiler really doesn't look that good. As far as a backup goes, maybe the Baltimore Ravens may want his services. They're looking for a backup. When you talk about the Indianapolis Colts, he's going to have to fight for that backup position. And he knows going in that he's going to be a clear backup once Andrew Luck comes this season, okay? Not to mention that the Colts are also eyeing Colin Kaepernick, okay? Maybe the Dolphins may pick up his services as a backup. But for him to think that he's a starting quarterback, clearly you're not a starting quarterback. You're going on into your fourth team. If you're lucky, someone signs you. You've been, you left a good situation with the Denver Broncos, and then you went for the money with the Texans, and you only was there for a year, and they traded you to the Cleveland Browns, and you wasn't, even though if you look at the timeline, you was there for a year, but in actuality, you was only there for half a year, okay? After game 2, after the second practice, they was already trying to trade you, and you wasn't their short-term or their long-term. And the only reason why they accepted that trade, by the way, because of the extra draft picks the Houston Texans were giving the Cleveland Browns. Okay, it is what it is. But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. Please, notification gang, hit that notification button, that notification bell, so you'll be notified when my next video or live stream is going down. It's your boy. I'm Chris the Don 1, and I am out.